So, I'm sure as many of you have heard by now, there was a leaked document from the Supreme Court that dealt with an upcoming opinion that has been voted on, apparently so, by the Supreme Court on Roe versus Wade and Planned Parenthood versus Casey. I know most people are probably familiar with or heard of Roe v. Wade. I know probably a lot of y'all don't know Planned Parenthood versus Casey. And that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and explain those. I'm not even going to go into what your thoughts on this should be. I know my opinion on it, but it's kind of really irrelevant to this. The question really comes down to what staffer of which justice leaked this? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't think it was a justice. That's one of my theories. I don't think it was a justice at all. So we're told, based on what I've been researching, that this might have been already voted on back in February, and that's when they started writing their opinion pieces. And this one started back in, I guess, February. I don't know how long it's been circulating around. It's a first draft. It's not a final. So also, it is being floated that this was a 5-4 decision, which I figured probably would be the case based on the makeup of the Supreme Court. I figured it'd probably be a 5-4 is the most realistic one. 6-3, not on these two. I thought there might be a possibility to be a 6-3, but no, I really didn't believe that was likely going to happen. So let's go over who the five probably were. Now, mind you, I don't know what's going on behind the court. I don't know. I'm just going off of my knowledge of what I've learned through politics. So let's go over the justices who probably voted yes, most likely. Justice Thomas, most likely, yay. Alito, considering this is the opinion he wrote, I would say was a yes. Probably Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Barrett. So the descendings would be most likely Justice Breyer, who's the one retiring, Justice Sotomayor, Justice Kagan, and I'm going to go on, if this was a 5-4, I'm going to say Chief Justice Roberts. Only because when it's a 5-4 decision, it's kind of, the Chief Justice is kind of the swing vote at times. Some people don't know which way he's going to vote on something. When it's a tight vote like that, he's usually the one in that 5-4, depending on how it goes. He's really been that swing vote for a long time. So I don't think it was. So here's what I think. I don't think it was any of the staff that works for the judges who voted yes on these being overturned, because there's really no benefit that I can see to releasing this early for a judge on what is referred to as the conservative side. So I don't see a benefit. I've heard some left-leaning establishments thinking that it was Justice Roberts or maybe Thomas's wife who got a hold of it and leaked it, because personal opinion she has, even though she has no status on the court. She's married to a justice, so they're thinking maybe she got a hold of it and leaked it. I think those are a little far-fetched. Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of keep my theory on grounded in a little bit of logic and reason. I don't do tinfoil hat. I don't think if the four people I'm saying are the ones who are the dissenting of the majority, they're the four that voted to keep it. Yeah, I'm kind of getting to that. BK Dan, I'm not 100% sure. So let's kind of go into. I don't think if it was the four people I think who voted dissenting: Chief Justice Roberts, Bayer, Sotomayor, Kagan. I don't think it was anybody on Justice Roberts' side, mainly because it doesn't serve any purpose to put him in a crosshair. He's, like I said, he's kind of the swing voter. I don't think it was anybody in Justice Breyer, mainly because he's retiring. The future Justice Jackson's coming in. I'm sure a lot of these people might want to keep their jobs. I don't think it was anybody on the conservative side of this aisle. I think it was probably somebody who was either Sotomayor or Kagan's. And I think I saw in the quartering. I hadn't finished it. Something about they have a prime suspect. Might be under. I don't know if he said Sotomayor. I think he said under Sotomayor. Might be someone under Sotomayor. That's their like prime suspect. Now, is that the person who did it? I don't have a clue. My theory is I think it was one of those two whose staffer did it. I don't think they did it, but I think their staffer did it. Now, as far as Beaky Dan says, what do I think on what should happen? Well, I think the person should be fired and possibly face some. See, I don't know. This is an area I don't know if there's criminal charges or ethics charges or I don't know. I think the person should definitely be fired for violating the trust of the justice they work under. If they decided to do it thinking this was going to help, we shall see. Let's just hope they don't put the FBI on this because the FBI can't apparently at this point can't seem to fucking find a damn thing out. So whatever that is, whatever the case may be, I don't know how the justice works their internal investigations. That is one area I'm not very familiar with. Do I think they'll find something out? Do I think nothing or they'll get accommodation though? I think they'll, well, honestly, if you want a couple theories on that one, I got to give you a little bit. They'll probably get fired if they don't try to sweep the sun under the rug and probably get like some TV skit on one of the left-leaning channels because they'll be decried a hero for doing this. Because this apparently, if this decision was already voted on back in February and they are spending this time writing up their draft opinions and stuff, and it was supposed to be in about 8 weeks, June, July, and the vote was already done, and the opinions are being drawn up, where's the benefit to leak this if you were on the vote that's saying, okay, we're overturning this? There's no benefit to you leaking this ahead of time. The only thing I can see, based on what I'm seeing right now in the last 2 days, is this was probably somebody on the liberal side of the court. And that's why I said I think it was under Sotomayor or Kagan. I just don't see it under Roberts. And I don't see it under the people who are under Breyer, who is retiring at the end of the year. And the new justice is going to come in. Let's see. I personally think the justice that lied to the Senate about respecting precedents of Roe are now taking it down should resign. Roe was precedent until now it's no longer well, I kind of can argue against that. Roe was precedent and Casey was precedent until they are not. And something I have pointed out to people that in the 234 years of the Supreme Court, they have overturned over 300 prior Supreme Court rulings or be removed for lying under oath. Well, they said they were respecting precedents, but let's be honest, they are allowed to change their mind. And I don't think they're going to resign. But what I think is going to happen right now is the Supreme Court, I think, should probably go ahead and come out and say, yeah, we've already voted on this. We're just putting the draft opinions together. This has been ruled on. Here's who ruled which way. Opinions will be coming out forthcoming over the next couple of months. That's what I think they should do because I don't think they're going to be able to wait now. They're not going to be able to wait till June or July. I don't see it happening. But we will see. I don't know how their internal side of that works. But it is an egregious, terrible thing that this was leaked out of the highest court in the land. I mean, they're saying it's never happened. I don't know if it's never happened. I've heard I've heard some things about, there were rumors about things, but never a leaked document. And I've read the document. I read all 68 of the pages of it. It's 98, I believe, but you get those last 30 pages. Those are basically really just kind of highlighting all the footnotes that you see throughout the 68 pages. Because trust me, there's a lot of footnotes. But, we will see. But right now, all I see this is the reason why I think it was one of those is because, well, you see right now, anybody who is left-leaning, every celebrity who is in the cool zone is throwing a fit about this. And in my opinion, both the leak and the draft ATR are wrong. Okay, BK, Dan, you're entitled to your opinion, buddy. I'm not gonna. I don't disagree with the draft. I disagree with the fact that we are reading it now versus the final draft whenever that's released. I found it to be reasonable from a layman's term. I mean, to be the first one to say, I don't know legal worth a shit. I didn't go to school to be a lawyer. I don't have the temperament for that. I'm too much of an asshole. But if you look at what's going on now, I think it's more along the lines of this is trying to get somebody to maybe change their vote. One of the 5 to change, because if they get one to maybe flip, then the whole thing changes. So I don't know which one they would. If the 5 I think did it, I don't think any of them are going to flip. I don't think Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, Barrett, Alito, or Thomas are going to flip. But I think that's what they. But the whole thing is when it comes down to it, this never should have been in the court in the first place. This should have been something done legally. Now, if these are overturned, everybody's freaking out that they're gaslighting. Is marriage going to get removed? Same-sex marriage? These other things they're just talking about, they're going to roll back around. It's the Handmaid's Tale all over again. It's like, no. And I'm not telling you to chill out. What I am telling people to do is understand this just would put everything back in the States. So California, New York, Illinois, blue states, do you think they're going to ban it? No. They'll probably expand on it and make it even more available. Purple states will probably stay about the same. Red states, I can't think of a single red state that I think would openly just full ban. I don't see it. I don't fucking see it. Because at the time of Roe v. Wade, of the 50 states, 10 of them actually only had a full ban on abortion. And the states that actually had liberated theirs prior to Roe v. Wade, all their laws got struck down. So I also feel the leak was done playing politics among themselves. I cannot say that is not true. Hey, Potato Revin. Good to see you, buddy. How are you? I'm doing good. It's another good day. I'm hoping the rain stays off so I can finish out working in my yard. I got a chicken coop I'm trying to take down just because it was terribly put together. Yeah, right now this is a political game. You could play any theory you want. They're probably all true in some areas. But the simple fact of the matter is, this has been going on since the 70s, at least since Roe v. Wade in 73, before I was even born. It has just been a fucking issue after issue after issue that just keeps coming up, and everybody has made this a hill to die on, literally. No, I did not know about Chappelle being attacked. Yes, may the 4th be with all of you. And be careful tomorrow because of Revenge of the 5th. Oh, I agree. I agree, board. Of course they won't. What I don't understand is at the end of the day, this just puts it back in the states' hands and lets the states decide what they're going to do, how they're going to regulate this. And of course, I'm seeing the extremists. It's like, what are they going to do now? They're going to ban birth control. They're going to ban what? They're going to ban birth control, condoms, or the crazy mindset of these folks sometimes is staggering at how extremely crazy you can get with this shit. I mean, really, it's not that devastating. We have 50 states in God, about what, almost a dozen territories? Okay. Blue states are going to probably open up the avenues. Red states might keep what they have. Maybe they make other restrictions. I don't know, but an all-out ban, I find that a little hard to believe. Purple states, like I said, they're going to probably stay the same. So, at this point, this is a big deal. And, they keep wanting, and this is really going to suck for the legislation because now they've got to actually possibly vote on this. Now, I heard the House has already voted on something, which is fine because the House is a simple majority. You get that little problem. You need 60 votes in the Senate. And yeah, the Senate could totally get rid of that, could totally get rid of the filibuster. Filibuster has been changed many, many times in the rules. It's in the Constitution. They have the right to change the rule if they want to. Unfortunately, they've done that before, and it didn't work out so well for the left when it came to the Supreme Court judges. And I know I've already seen it. We've had 2 stolen seats or 3 stolen seats. Take your pick. I don't really care which way you want to do it. Do I think Mitch McConnell was playing politics when he didn't let Obama's pick even get a confirmation hearing? Yeah, of course that was a political game. That was a given. Not stupid. And yes, it was a political game when you had 2016 and we got Trump got 3 picks. That's how the game is played. Politics is not easy. Politics is not fun. Politics is not like math. It's not fun. It's not easy. Not everybody can do it. Everybody gets emotional. Sometimes even I do. I prefer to stick with facts and logic, but that can be boring sometimes. Sometimes it's just fun to fuck with people and use their own tactics against them. Just kind of what I've been doing now. But you're going to see this. Texas and Florida both have trigger laws where if Roe is taken down, abortion is outlawed right then. BK, I need to see the laws that state that. I would have to see the laws that actually state that. If a state wants to, they can put it in their constitution. I mean, all states have constitution. They can put it in there if they want to, but no state has it. In fact, that's even something said. Yes, actually, BK Dan, the filibuster is in the Constitution. Look up Article 1 that deals with the House and the Senate, and it says they are allowed to make their rules for their proceedings of how they make decisions in voting. So, yes, it actually is in the Constitution under Article 1. Let me, just for shits and giggles, let me go ahead and pull up Article 1. Article 1 of the Constitution. There's several sections. Let me find the one that states what I'm talking about. So I like to at least put my money where my mouth is. All right. Because Article 1 deals with the House and the Senate. All right. Let's look up rules. Article 1, Section 5. Each House may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and with the concurrence of 2/3 expel a member. So, rules for proceedings, that's actually the line they mainly use that says, that's why I say the filibuster is in the Constitution, because the rules are made up of how they do their proceedings. Even the House at one time had a filibuster, but they eventually abolished it through their rules. So it is constitutional. Or at least I say it's constitutional based on my interpretation of Article 1, Section 5. Now, if anybody wants to challenge me on those things, please. I'd love to. I love having conversations with people about the Constitution and different interpretations. Actually, I have a great conversation with someone quite regularly who does not agree with a lot of my interpretations or understandings, but strangely enough, we find we have a lot more in common than we don't, just certain things we don't interpret. For example, this case here, this particular person believes this should be done, this should be handled at the DC federal level. I think it should stay with the states. And that's really where our disagreement on abortion goes with when it comes to abortion laws. Now, my personal feelings on abortion are irrelevant. My morals, and as I said to someone who keeps saying, these things are immoral, these things are evil, these things are bad, these things are not moral. I'm sorry, morality is a point of view. It really fucking is. My morality is what defines me. Unfortunately, the laws are what define all of us because we break the laws. If I break something in my moral conscience, I'm the only one I have to answer to. I break the law, I've got to answer to a lot more than that. In my opinion, ruling on abortion should go through a process of an amendment. BK Dan, you are not the first person I've heard mention that. Unfortunately, you're going to have a harder time getting something like that through than you would getting the House in a 60 vote in the Senate. Because to get a constitutional amendment, 2/3 of the House, 2/3 of the Senate, 3/4 of the states. And it is actually one of the few things that the president cannot veto. That is actually something that is in content. The president cannot veto a constitutional amendment. He does not have that power. She does not have that power. Good and evil are relative. I agree. They are relative. I mean, I'm gonna end it with this. When you see people saying you're evil, you're bad, you're this, you're that, I just want to kind of point out what Garrick said one time. Everyone sees themselves as the hero of their own story. Bashir, even the villains? Garrick, especially the villains. And with that, folks, that was all my theory. That was my thoughts. I have no idea if I'm correct. I don't even know if we'll ever find out. But that's my thoughts. And thankfully, I don't think they were outside the realm of possibility because I try to avoid anything tinfoil hat. Anyway, guys, have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening. Potato Revin. Take care of your island.